Heidi ho there, friends and neighbors. Bobby here today. Welcome to RJW Financial Coaching. And we have a little topic that I just randomly asked AI today. And I may just start doing a series of videos when I have an idea. I'll Google and see what AI says about it, or Google. And we'll just talk about it. We'll just elaborate on it. We'll always get lists of things or whatever, and we'll talk about it. So today I typed in what 5 things are people struggling the most with in the current day economy. Okay, so the answer I got back: number 1, inflation; number 2, financial hardship; number 3, cost of living; number 4, labor shortage; number 5, interest rates. Okay, so we'll go down and talk about these one by one, and I'll just kind of give you my thoughts on those and maybe some ideas on how you can combat that and help make your situation a little bit better. So let's talk about inflation. Okay, we've seen that creeping up for the last year and a half or whatever, maybe ever since the pandemic. Supply chain issues and stuff like that have caused inflation to skyrocket. Gas prices going up. Like gas prices, when they go up, cost of everything else goes up as well. And so, we're all paying more. We're paying more for fuel. We're paying more for food. We're paying more for, fast food has just gotten outrageous. I have got to the point where I have cut that totally out of my budget. We do not eat out anywhere, anytime. And unless we're working and it's around lunchtime and we didn't bring our lunch or something, we may stop by McDonald's or something like that, but that's the only time. That is few and far between. And so for inflation, my idea for you is just simply spend less. Okay, try to do without fast food. Don't give in to that. Try to and you'll make healthier meals for yourself if you just learn how to cook, or whatever. Or meal planning. Meal planning has become a big thing for us. Become a big thing. I know my daughter, she's real good at meal planning for her week and everything. And so that's ways of cutting down, is just, stop spending as much. Don't go out and do all this crazy stuff. Just learn to have fun at home. It's funny because we have chickens now, okay? And we're getting eggs, from our chickens. So we don't have to buy eggs, and we're getting a healthier product because our chickens are happy. They free range and they can run around and stuff. But it's funny because they bring a lot of joy. Just getting out there and watching them things, it's very entertaining. Anyway, so inflation, spend less. Okay, financial hardship. Let's see what they're saying. The significant number of Americans are struggling to make ends meet due to inflation. Okay, so yeah, some people that were living paycheck to paycheck before all the inflation occurred, they're really hurting now. Okay, because if they're going to continue living the lifestyle that they were living, they're probably putting it on a credit card, okay? And that's going to end up bad for you, when you start trying to pay down that credit card. So financial hardship, my answer to that right now is, you just got to budget. You got to cut. You might have to cut here. You might have to cut cable TV. You might have to cut out paying someone to mow your yard, which is something that I shouldn't be telling you because part of our business is stump grinding and lawn care. And but you may have to cut it out, for a while. You may have to get out there and push mow it yourself or whatever if that's all you got. So you just have to go down line by line on your budget, and you might have to make drastic cuts, to where you don't end up, suffering as much. Now, number three, cost of living. The high cost of living coupled with inflation has put a strain on the livelihoods. Okay. Once again, all these are related the same. They're just, we know the cost of living is going up because when food prices and gas prices or actually one thing I will talk about in this category here is housing. Housing prices have went nuts. Okay. I have some friends that don't own, they're renting, and the prices to rent stuff has just gone through the roof. And I feel sorry for young folks today that are trying to get out on their own. They're in their 20s and they're making a wage that may not be as much as I was making when I was in my 20s, okay? And I'm 55 years old. And the cost of everything is like 3 times as much. And it's hard. You actually, to live out on your own as a young adult, you may need a roommate, okay, just to live in an apartment, because a nice apartment in the area that I live in, decent apartment is $1,500 a month, okay, and that's a good bit of your income. I always say that if you pay more than 25% of your, what does I say, gross or net? I'd rather say net. If more than 25% of your net income monthly is going toward rent or a mortgage, you're probably going to struggle, okay? And a lot of people think that the mortgage is the highest thing, but a lot of times you start adding up your food bills and everything, you're going to find that's going to be, that may end up being your highest thing, okay? So, yeah, housing's gotten ridiculous. I suggest that if you are young and in your 20s, maybe stay home with mom and dad a few years, save some money, pay them a little rent, so it's not like you're just bumming off of them, but get serious, stay busy working, and save a bankroll, save your money, and possibly maybe down the road, prices will come back down a little bit, but don't bank on it. But just save a little bit, have a little bit more to put down on a nice place to live or so forth, okay? Or some of these younger people are buying duplexes and they're real creative and entrepreneurial, and they buy a little duplex or they buy a large house, and then they've already got it planned out that they're going to rent rooms. I heard of this one person who bought a house that had like bathrooms for several bedrooms, so they're able to actually rent a room, and these people come and live there, and they get their own bedroom and bathroom, and it's working for them. It's making the mortgage or a duplex where you can live in half of it, and then you charge enough for the other half to where it's paying your half. That's even cooler. Okay. But let's move on down the list here. So, labor shortage, okay? And it says here that the COVID-19 pandemic has led to a widespread lack of workers, affecting staffing needs in various industries. And we know that's happening. We know that the government is still paying some people to stay home. And if you're getting paid to stay home, why would you want to work? But that's going to come to an end. And, and when it does, there'll be people go back to work. But look at it this way. It's like now, if you are working in a certain field, maybe you're not happy with it, maybe try to do an upgrade, since you might be able to jump into something that you really like, have always thought you might want to do, and be able to get your foot in the door now and learn a new skill and actually end up making a lot more money a couple years down the road. So when I see labor shortage, that means they're wanting you, okay? You might be able to write your own ticket when you do get a job, okay? So you may have to switch fields or do something different, but do know that that's not a bad thing for you, okay? It sucks when you can't. All right, let's go back to fast food, because that's the first thing that pops in my head, because I know here in the little town I live in, some of the fast food places that used to stay open till, I don't know, 11 o'clock at night, they were shutting down at 8 o'clock because they didn't have enough people to fill the staffing, okay? So in that ways, or if there's a product that you can't get your hands on that you need, maybe a tool or something that's on back order because of, manufacturing, that's an aggravation, But do know there's also opportunity there as well. And interest rates. Okay, interest rates is the last thing, and I got to speed this video on up because I think I'm limited to a 15-minute video on this channel. But interest rates, they're up. So buying a house now is costing a heck of a lot more than it did 3 years ago. A lot more. You can do the math. Get you a compound interest calculator or a mortgage interest calculator and punch the numbers in, say on a $200,000 house, 30-year loan at 2% interest, which is 2.5% or whatever a few years ago, and now it's over 7%. That's a big difference in monthly payment. So it's costing a lot more to own the same house now. And houses have jumped up in prices too. So, but interest rates, so that's how an interest rate can affect you. But maybe don't buy right now. Maybe see if things come down. We're in an election cycle. Let's see how it shakes out. Maybe if you can put it off a year, let's just see what happens. It could come back down. You got to remember, back in the 80s, after Carter administration, interest rates were outrageous. I think 15 to 17%, and they ended up coming down after that. So what goes up usually comes down. Maybe just pick a little bit better time to think about buying. And if you do have money in the bank, you're actually getting a little bit more. This interest rate issue is actually getting you some money on your cash now, so that it wasn't getting before. So that's a good thing, okay? If you got a little bit put away and you just got it in a regular savings account or something, you are getting a little bit more on your money, and not a bad deal, So anyway, guys, there's my 2 cents on the 5 things that folks are struggling with right now. Hope you enjoyed the little video. Hope you got something out of it. Maybe something that you can tweak in your life, make your life a little bit better. Thank you for stopping by here at RJW Financial Coaching today. We are going to put together some sort of course, okay, that can a detailed course that can actually help people with their money, with their finances, and hopefully help them live a happier life, okay? Because financial struggles suck, man. It sucks. And it'll suck your happiness out if you let it. Have a great day. We'll see you next time. Take care.